ChatGPT just dropped a massive update, GPT 5.2, and today I'm testing it live with you right now. This is not a hype video. This is just me telling you whether it's good or not. We're going to be testing out side by side today. This is not me telling you that it's amazing before I've even used it. So here's what we're doing today. We're going to be testing GPT 5.2 against real business tasks, comparing it side by side with the old version, running the exact automations solopreneurs need every single day, finding out what works, what doesn't, what's overhyped, building actual business systems live to see if this thing holds up, showing you the truth, not the marketing claims, and deciding together if this update actually matters for your business or not. So we're going to be running through GPT-5. You can see it here. Here's the details. It literally just got announced a few hours ago. And they said GPT-5, the most capable model series yet for professional knowledge work. Already the average ChatGPT, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's marketing hype. And then it says GPT 5.2 sets a new state of the art across many benchmarks, including, and there's listed a bunch of benchmarks here. So you can see the comparisons of GPT 5.2 versus 5.1 thinking, as you can see. And if you want to get access to it, I actually didn't have access until I upgraded to Pro. So just something to bear in mind there is that if we have a look here, I do have GPT 5.2. But when I was just on the normal plan for like, I think, was it $10 a month? It wasn't there. I had to upgrade to the more expensive plan. I'm guessing they're rolling this out to more people as it comes out. So just something to bear in mind there as we go through. And you can see here, we can start using this for all sorts of different tasks. So for example, I'm just going to start off with something like, let's switch to thinking. And we're going to say, okay, code a PS5 controller in HTML. It's one of my favorite tasks, simply because like quite often the new models will fail with this. Even other ones like, for example, Gemini. We'll test this out on Gemini 3 just to compare it side by side, and we shall also test this against Claude as well, using Claude Opus, which is the new release from Claude Opus. We can just see how how GPT-5 compares against all of them. All right, so we're going to say code a PS5 controller in HTML here as well. Then we'll see. Nazim says there is no end. There is no end. It never gets boring. The end never comes because there's a new update every single day. So we've got Gemini coding out here, and we have the HTML for the PS5 controller inside ChatGPT as well running here. We're running a few more tests whilst we're waiting for both of those to update. Let's see how they compare. So you can see there's quite a big difference in GDP value, which is like knowledge worth tasks. You can see, for example, GPT 5.2 thinking is 70.9 versus 38.8%, which is a huge jump. But let's see. I mean, I don't really pay attention to these benchmarks quite often, but simply because, like, they in reality, things are quite different. Leonardo says, hello, Master, I do need your help. Please send a message when you're available. Drop me a message inside the AI Profit Boardroom if you want to get in touch. That's the place to connect with me. So connect with me inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, and then you can DM me directly inside there. One of the worst things about messaging on Facebook in particular is that it just goes through to the DM request. So it's not the best place to talk. So we're going to have a look at GPT 5.2. We've got the code, as you can see over here. One thing that is kind of annoying is we have to select canvas if we actually want to run this. So I'm going to say run this code. And then we'll start running that. In the meantime, what have we got back from Gemini? So this is a response from Gemini. So it's clickable. It's usable. The buttons on the L2 and R2 don't work. These buttons do. The analog sticks work, etc. Not bad, not bad. If we have a look at Claude Opus 4.5, it's gone super weird. I mean, it's done the job, to be fair, and these are all clickable. I'd say it's kind of a tie between these two. Yep. So like I was saying before, I had Plus as well. I didn't have access to it, and then I had to upgrade to the more expensive package, and then I got access. So just bear that in mind. Maybe it's just rolling out slower to the people who are on the basic paid plans. And imagine the ones on the free, they're probably not going to get it for ages. So let's click on preview here and see what we got. None of this is clickable. IJLK. Why is the analog stick in the middle? I mean, this is a joke. I would say it's failed the test here. I mean, like if you look at Gemini, at least Gemini is align the analog sticks. All the buttons are clickable. That's a way more interesting creation versus this one, which is a total mess. I mean, none of this is clickable. The analog stick doesn't work. And then if we have a look here, we've got the PS5 controller from Claude Opus. Everything's clickable there. I would say that is much better than ChatGPT 5, even if these weird direction buttons seem to move, which is strange. But yeah, I would say like it's, and also it recognizes that we're clicking certain buttons at the bottom, right? So yeah, I would say like it's failed on the first test. All right, good stuff. So we're going to switch to auto now. Auto decides which model it's going to use, so whether it's going to use Pro, Thinking, Instant. I've never seen it actually auto select Pro. And then we're going to go into another prompt here. And we're going to take this prompt that I use for creating SEO content, right? So I'm just going to take that, plug this in, we'll close that. Then we'll go to GPT 5.2, plug this in, and I'm going to say, right, okay, keyword equals SEO trend in Japan, create an article for me, mate, right? And we'll select canvas. Let's see what we get. Do the same inside Gemini. So let's have a look here. Tools, canvas. Let's go with that. And then we'll do the same inside Claude. I'm gonna actually, I've seen some people rave about Opus for writing, so I'm gonna stick with Opus. We'll see which one creates the best, right? So Edgen says, oh, so you need Pro to access it, but yeah, UI isn't GPT's strength, but I love it for building info and backend. Yeah, I had to upgrade to get access to this, so that's the price I paid just to share this stuff with you. But yeah, from what I've seen, it's not rolled out to Plus yet, but I'm sure it'll probably come later today or something like that. I don't think, and so far from what I've seen, like I probably wouldn't upgrade anyway. Probably not worth it. All right, so it says all done. I mean, here's what frustrates me about GPT-5. Look at the way that it's responded here, right? And I've seen this ever since GPT 5.1 came out. So you see how it's got like no bullet points. It's kind of weird the way that it writes. It doesn't feel very sentient. And then it's like, if you want next, we can localize it. It doesn't feel good when I read this. Whereas if we go over to Claude's content is usually way better, and also the way that it just writes, it feels nicer. I don't know, something about the way it formats text, it's much nicer inside Claude. Bear in mind that OpenAI did recently trigger a code red because they're worried about their competition, Google taking over, etc. And I would agree. I mean, I even see that from the YouTube video numbers. Like, if I create a video, look at this, right? If I create a video about Google Gemini, it seems to always perform the best, right? I think there's just a lot more people interested in Gemini than there are inside GPT or anything like that. So let's have a look at this one. All right. So if we have a look at the title here from GPT 5.2, right? The title is SEO Train in Japan. Now, that's not really, to me, that's not an article headline, right? It's not that interesting. I don't think people are going to click through, etc. Right? Now, if you have a look at the title from Claude is SEO Training Japan, the complete guide to ranking in the Japanese market. That's way more relevant, right? That is a much better title for the article. That's something that people are actually going to click through to. And also, it's going to be better for SEO when it actually ranks directly on Google. If you have a look on Gemini, I still don't like the way Gemini, look how generic that is. How to dominate the market without wasting years. Kind of just feels like super generic. It's not even tailored to Japan and the rest of the title. Just doesn't feel as good. So, I mean, Claude for me is still winning when it comes to writing. It's a model that I'm switching to every single day. And then if we have a look at GPT 5.2 as well, it says, are you trying to rank in Japan but feel like nothing sticks? Now, I ask a question. That is a question, my friend, right? And I'm I mean, I'm no like English grammatical genius, right? But what I will tell you is that is a question. Are you trying to rank in Japan but feel like nothing sticks? And therefore, a question should have a question mark. I would hope so, anyway. And you can see here that the latest cutting edge model, the most powerful model of all time from OpenAI, the most hyped model, the model that they put out because they're on code red, the model that's supposedly going to save them from Claude and Gemini and all these competitors they have, can't even use a question mark. It can't even figure out to insert question marks inside the text. How frustrating is that? How annoying would that be to edit, right? Like you can't just copy and paste that into your website. That's no bueno at all. If we have a look over here, we've got the content from Claude, and you see how it's nicely formatted, right? So for example, it's bolded, the keyword is nice and easy to read. And it's like, right, it just feels a lot more sentient and human, right? And then the same, for example, on Gemini. You see how it's written and it's kind of like direct response format. It's really easy to skim through. It's like looking for world-class SEO training in Japan specific strategies. And it actually remembers to insert a question mark as well. It just feels better. This is why I'm switching over to Claude for pretty much everything, or to Gemini for coding. Because GPT 5.2 and GPT 5.1 were some of the worst models that I've tested so far. Honestly, like it's pretty bad, pretty bad. I mean, like let's duplicate this right now, right? So we've got one tab with 5.2. I'm going to run exactly the same prompt, and I'm going to run it with the old model, GPT 4.0, right? So this is the legacy model, GPT 4.0. I'm going to take the exact same prompt that we used for GPT 5.2, and I can almost guarantee that the content within GPT 4.0 is going to be better, right? So there we go. Look at how much nicer look at how that's written, how much nicer that looks. Look how it inserts question marks into the content. Like GPT 4.0 was a better model than GPT 5.2, definitely better than GPT 5, and it's just so much better, right? Our Pepe says, I tried it on LM Arena, but I'm yet to have it on the app. Yeah, so I'm wondering if it's on OpenRouter as well for you peeps who don't have access to it yet. Let's have a look on OpenRouter. Models 5.2. Yeah, so if you don't have access to it inside ChatGPT and you don't want to upgrade to the Pro plan, then go to openrouter.ai/models. We have a lot of training on how to use OpenRouter inside the AI path reporting. And then if you go inside here, you'll see OpenAI GPT 5.2 chat, OpenAI 5.2 Pro. So they've already released the API for Pro, and then GPT 5.2. I think that must be like the normal version, right? But my point here is like, it's no bueno. It's no bueno. Like we've compared the models, even not even against Claude, not even against Google Gemini. GPT 5.2 is better. I mean, sorry, GPT 4.0 is better than GPT 5.2. Like that, I'm just putting it out there. And if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments because I'd love to know why. Do you have GPT 5.2 on the website? Yes, you can see it right there. So there's GPT 5.2, and we can switch between these. And then we can switch back to these legacy models. One of the most annoying things about this, and I haven't figured out how to change this permanently yet, but if I switch to, say, a legacy model 4.0, and then I go to a new chat, it's going to switch back to 5.2. It's like I can't even use the legacy models on default. So, yeah, I mean, for me, I'm switching, everything over to Claude. All my custom GPTs, I'm switching over into Claude projects. I just think it's a superior model and it's much better. Let's see what people are saying on X about this as well. I'm interested to know now to see like, okay, how are people doing and what people think about it, etc. So I love seeing stuff like this. So Mark says GPT 5.2 is AGI. How many R's in garlic? There are 0 R's in garlic. Let's try this out. I want to see if this works or not. I think it's because he's put R, capital R apostrophe S, and that's why. But let's test it out. There's 1 hour in garlic. Okay, so who knows? Maybe he tested it on thinking on instant. Hey, he's figured it out. He's figured it out. Okay, it doesn't struggle with that at all. Maybe he's got a different version here. What else we got here? OpenAI thinking evaluations. It's inside GenSpark as well, and you can get it on the chat agent. So actually, if you go over to this, a way to get ChatGPT for free as well, I guess. Just gonna log in. All right, so if we go over to, let's have a look here. New. You have to be a pro plan to use. You have to be a pro user to use AI chat. So it's not really free, is it? Let's have a look here. That's unlimited. Oh, so you can use it for free. All right, so if you go inside, if you want to use this for free right now, right, go to GenSpark. I'm on the free plan. All right, so you can see here I'm on the free plan inside GenSpark. And if you want free access to GPT 5.2, you can get free access inside GenSpark, right? See, if you want to get free access to this, you don't want to pay for ChatGPT 5.2. You want to access it instantly because it's not inside your chat. Then what you want to do is go to genspark.ai. Then you're going to go to new. Then you go to AI chat and you can get access to this for free. All right. That's how you get access. Agent says, interesting take. I absolutely love GPT 5.1, particularly for code. Yeah, I think maybe for coding it's better. It's better, but like you've seen the coding challenge today, right? You've seen me compare coding a PS5 controller in GPT-5. Like if you give me a test, Agent, in terms of something you want me to test as a prompt that's going to produce better outputs in GPT 5.2 versus Claude and Gemini, just put it in the chat. Because from what I can see, even when we've done the coding test with the PS5 controller, it's not as good, right? It's clearly not as good versus Claude and Gemini. Claude Code was a mess, but I recently got Gemini and the anti-gravity app is very nice. Yep, 100% I would agree. Arpair says, I use 4.0 often. Yeah, I think 4.0 is probably the superior model inside ChatGPT. That they were the golden days of ChatGPT. Looking back, when I thought, you go back a year ago, ChatGPT was way more in the race than it is right now. So GPT 5.2 is the best model yet for real world professional use. I'm not sure about that, mate. Specifically, GPT 5.2 thinking beats or ties top industry professionals. I mean, we've tested out for coding today, right? And you've seen that honestly Claude and Gemini still beat it. Maybe what we can do is I'm going to give it another whirl, right? We'll give it a cheeky whirl. We're going to go to here. I'll go into Canvas and we'll give it one more shot. And I'm going to say, create a beautiful modern landing page with direct response copy for my SEO agency, Goldie Agency, as Julian Goldie, right? Funnel them to booking a free SEO strategy session, and then I'll include the link. Right? We'll give it one more shot. We'll give it one more shot because I can see a few comments, people asking for it. All right, so this is also frustrating, but we'll come back to that in a minute. I've seen what it's done already. It's no bueno. We'll do the same inside Opus 4.5. And we'll do the same inside Gemini as well. Kind of annoying that Canvas just doesn't pop up by default, honestly. That's what I like about Claude as well, is that I don't have to tell it to use Canvas. It just goes off and uses it. So you can see here, Claude is coding the page out. I would expect that to look really, really good because Opus is just goated for creating website designs. Like, it's super nice. If we have a look at ChatGPT 5.2, you can see here that it's just written the copy. It hasn't actually designed a landing page, which is kind of annoying. And bear in mind, with the same prompt, we've got a landing page being coded out with Opus. So it's not like the prompt is wrong. It's just that ChatGPT 5.2 is not very good at understanding. If we have a look at Gemini as well, it understands that we need to code out a landing page in HTML and then preview it inside Canvas. And so again, as a coding test, as a knowledge test, you know, like it's just super annoying. And I could tell it to code. I could tell it to code. But why would I have to tell it to code? That's the point, right? If I have to tell GPT-5 every time I create code to code something, instead of it being intelligent enough to interpret that I should be coding it, then look, this is what I'm saying, right? So ChatGPT, I have to tell it to code. It's not intelligent enough to understand my user intent, right? Whereas, for example, Claude understands that I'm trying to code and it codes out automatically without me having to tell it, right? And the same on Google Gemini. Gemini codes out the page without me having to tell it because it's intelligent enough to understand search intent. So this isn't about telling it to code or not. This is about, okay, can GPT understand the search intent of what we're trying to do here? And it clearly doesn't, right? I'm going to say code it out now. Anger says, which best model for writing research articles? I would go with Claude. Yeah, I think Claude, GPT 5.2, from what I've seen today in terms of writing anything, whether it's research papers, whether it's writing content, is not great at all. This is coding it out now, and we'll see what we get back on the preview. But I would say like this landing page is pretty modern, interesting, etc. It's quite a nice landing page. It's written all the content and it's quite long, right? Even like the graphics and stuff are nice. If we go over to Gemini as well, it's not bad. It does have a little error at the bottom, but it's not bad at all. I still think that the page from Claude Opus is the nicest. And then if we go over to GPT 5.2, let's see what we got. It's still coding out. We'll come on to that in a second. And we'll see what we get back. You know, always the thing that I would say with all of these models that come out is like, don't listen to the benchmarks, because the benchmarks are usually wrong, right? And usually when you actually come to trying them in practice, like you can see with Claude, with a ChatGPT today, it doesn't reflect reality. I think the benchmarks are so far off what you would do day to day that it doesn't make sense to even pay attention to them. And I think you've just got to try this stuff out yourself and compare it to what you've already got, right? So compare it to Claude, compare it to Gemini, see how it performs, right? So let's have a look at this page from ChatGPT now. I mean, it's just like, that is not a nicely designed landing page, right? If you have a look at that, look how messy this feels. It doesn't feel or look like a website, right? Whereas if we compare that to Claude Opus, this actually feels and looks like a website, right? It's quite neat, it's tidy, it's designed nicely. And the same with Google Gemini. Gemini's page actually feels like a website. So let's go to, I mean, so that's what we get back from Gemini as a coding challenge, right? So number one, GPT-5 didn't even understand that we were coding and we had to tell it manually, which wasted time. And then number two, the design from Google Gemini is much nicer, right? This links directly to the page to book in a call. It just looks neat, it's tidy, it's interesting, it looks cool, right? Like that would pass as a landing page. Whereas if we have a look at GPT 5.2, explain to me what you think it's doing here, because look how complicated it's made it. Look how messy it is, the layout and everything else. I just don't think it's anywhere near the same level. So just to recap here, peeps. All right. If you want to get free access to ChatGPT 5.2, you don't want to upgrade. Then what you do is you go to genspark.ai. You're going to go to new chat, and you can type in here exactly what you want, right? That's how it works. If you want to get the APIs, then you would go over to Open Router, right? So you can get the APIs inside Open Router. You go to models and you can grab all of these, right? If you want to know what apps you can use the API in, here's an example. So Kilo Code, for example, Client, Root Code, all the usual tools that you can use, right? You can get an API for the Pro version as well. When we've tested out GPT 5.2, it's performed worse than writing content with GPT 4.0. It struggles to understand user intent as well as Claude or Gemini. It's failed all the coding tests versus Claude or Gemini, so it came last. It couldn't write in a question mark on the content that we produced, and it doesn't write headlines for articles that we produce, right? I've just paid $200 to upgrade on ChatGPTs so I can get access to it for you. And you can see the problem here. I mean, I really do hope that ChatGPT and OpenAI turn it around. But from what I'm seeing, like this is not AGI. This is not even as good as GPT-4. I feel like we've gone a year behind. We've gone a year backwards with the models. So let's have a look what else it said now. So workforce planner, create a workforce planning model, headcount, hiring, attrition, include engineering, etc. And this is GPT 5.1 thinking versus GPT 5.2. So this is formatting in spreadsheets and slides. Apparently it's better in coding, although it seems to have got worse. And it says GPT 5.2 represents the biggest leap for GPT models in agentic coding since GPT 5. And I'm not seeing that with the outputs I'm getting. Maybe it's because, everyone's using the API, and usually when these APIs come out, they're not that great. But from what I'm seeing, I'm struggling to get good responses with it. It's just not that good. And I don't mean to slate GPT. I feel like a bit harsh on it today, but it's just like, what are we doing here, guys? Why are we creating models that are worse than GPT 4.0? And then we can see the benchmarks here. All right. It's quite a long article, this, actually, to be fair. So that's basically it for GPT 5.2. We've tested it, we've compared it, we've seen which one performs the best. We've given it coding tests, writing tests, and everything else. If you want to get the video notes from today, along with a community of 38,300 people who are all interested in AI, you can see it's a super active community, as you can see right here. Then you can get that inside the AI Success Lab, link in the comments and description. It's a free community with 38,000 people you can connect with. It comes with all of these different lessons, NA10 automations, and everything else. Link in the comments and description to that. We also update this daily. So if you go to the classroom and then go to more AI automations, you can see we've got the video notes from GPT 5.2 today, along with everything else. And then if you want to get help, support, coaching, if you want to get all my best systems and connect with me personally, then join the AI Profit Boardroom. Inside the AI Profit Boardroom, we have an awesome active community of serious AI builders and entrepreneurs who are growing their business with AI. So you can see, for example, here, loads of new cool posts, lots of people sharing cool stuff, etc. And all of it's inside the community. So feel free to get that link in the comments description. And inside here as well, you get all of my best automation. So a lot of people ask me, for example, like how to create AI avatar videos. And you can learn that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. If you go to the AI avatar section here, we've got loads of training on AI avatar videos and how I create them. You've got, for example, my training on shorts, newsletter automations, Twitter automations, and also we do 4 coaching calls per week, right? So you can jump on these coaching calls, connect with the community. They get recorded as well if you need to watch them back. And one of the other cool things about this community is that you get unlimited, you actually get unlimited technical support. So you can ask questions inside the community, get help, get support, etc. whenever you need them. All right. Damavish said, did you see they added Photoshop into ChatGPT? I've actually got a video, an avatar video coming on that later today. So yeah, we've got that inside the community. We also have a daily accountability post. So you can see here, for example, every day, Darren and another legendary member, Johan, they both create these accountability posts and then we share them inside the community here. So link in the comments description to join the AI Profit Boardroom community. It also comes with like tons of NA10 trainings and everything else, an agency course on how to scale with AI automation and land AI automation clients. You've got a full YouTube masterclass right here, the YouTube AI roadmap that shows you how I grew my channel, and my best AI SEO automations too. Plus, we update this with new SOPs, as you can see inside the classroom here. So all the latest new SOPs, as you can see right there. All right, link in the comments description to that. And thanks so much for watching. I will see you on the next one, peeps. Cheers. Bye-bye.